Miniature Market has thousands of board games at discounted prices. Click the direct link below to see all of those discounted games. Hello my friends, today it's all about 3. We're talking about trio, a bunch of different numbers that you're trying to get 3 different sets of 3 numbers, hence the name trio. Let me show you how it's played. I'll see you on the other side. In trio, you're trying to be the first to get 3 of the same number, hence the name trio. There's 3 of each number, ranging from 1 all the way through 12s. Each player is given a certain amount of cards depending on the amount of players. You then put them in order. These are secret. These are normally in your hands. I have them on the table just to show you what they look like. Now, they're in order, and something very important in this game is you can never play a card that's not on the ends, and you can never rearrange your cards. You're always talking about your lowest or your highest card at that point in time. So if I ever wanted to reveal this 9, I'd have to get the 10 out of my hand for good first in order to do that. So on your turn, there's a few things you can do. You can ask any player to reveal their lowest or highest card. So I might point to one of the players and say, hey you, reveal your lowest card. And maybe they reveal a 3. Now, if you remember, my lowest card was a 3, so I'm getting a little bit lucky right now. So maybe I'll ask another player, because maybe we need to get all 3 of the 3s in order to sort of collect them. So let's say I ask another player. I could ask the same player. I could say, hey, show me, now reveal your lowest card. They may have had both 3s. That might be viable. But I go to a different opponent and I say, hey, show me reveal your lowest card, and they reveal a 1. Since the 1 does not match a 3, your turn is over. If they had revealed a 3, I then could reveal my third 3, and we would collect those cards. In this case, it would be that my turn would be over. Both of these players would take their card back and place them as their lowest card again. So now everyone knows what their lowest card is, and it's a bit of a memory game. You need to remember who has what card for now. Now, when I had that first 3 from the first player, instead of asking another player, I could have played the 1 in front of me that I had because this was my lowest card. You can always play your lowest or highest card. So I could have asked the first player for their lowest. I could have then played my lowest, and then I'm looking for the third lowest. But now everybody knows I have this, so usually you wait to the end to do that. So if I didn't want to pick a second opponent or a second person to reveal their lowest card, you have a grid. The grid's different size depending on the amount of players, and you can randomly pick one. Hey, look at that. That's a 3. And then I could have played my lowest card, which is my 3. Remember, you could only play your lowest or your highest card at that time, and you can only ask other players to play their lowest or highest card. If I had gotten all 3 3s, I would place these in front of me. It would be the next player's turn. And in this case, I have 1 trio. However, if when I flip this over, it was not a 3, everyone now knows this is a 4, and this gets flipped back over. This player takes their card back, and it's the next player's turn. So there's a lot of information coming out that you need to remember. Now, you win the game. One way to win the game is to have 3 trios. I have 3 3s, 3 12s, 3 10s. I would win the game. Now remember, on your turn, it's very simple. You're either playing your lowest or highest card, asking an opponent to play one of their lowest or highest card, or taking one or flipping one over from the grid. Anytime you get a card that doesn't match, your turn is over, or anytime you get all 3 in a row of the same number that's revealed, you collect it as a trio. That's the whole game. If you get 3 trios, you win. Or if you get 3 7s, the 7 trio, you win, regardless of if it's your first, second, or third trio. And the reason why this works is because 7 is sort of in the middle between the lower and the higher cards, which means these don't tend to come out until it's a little later in the game. So you can just try to focus on those 7s if you want and steal the victory from someone else. You can also play what's called the spicy mode. This is an advanced game. If I got this trio, this shows 3 down there. This means that I need to get a 3 in order to win. So if I did this, I would win because I had the 10s and I had the 3, and I win. Any 2 linked trios. So if I had gotten the 3 first, I could have won by getting a trio of 4 or a trio of 10. So in this case, because I have these 2, I would win. All right, what I like about this game? Well, this essentially is like Go Fish with some strategy layered on top of it. It's like a modern day Go Fish. Also has more memory, we'll get to that later, but definitely has more strategy than, say, Go Fish. This kind of feels like a timeless classic. One that's like, you know, feels like this has been around for ages, right? I mean, obviously the roots of Go Fish has been around for ages, but this feels like it could have been around for ages, even though it's a relatively newer game. The game has some subtle depth where you're looking at your hand, you're listening to what people are doing, you're watching what they're doing, you're getting an idea of the picture of who might have what might be in the middle. But there is some subtle depth there. I'm not going to say this is a heavy strategy game, but there is some tricks you can employ. There is some strategy involved in the game. Like, for instance, you could show others one of your cards, because you want them to take that from you. Maybe you've seen a number earlier, right? And you have 2 more of those numbers. You could make a trio and it's up towards the higher part of your hand, but you have a number or 2 that you need to get rid of in order to be able to play that, because you can only play your lowest or your highest. So maybe you purposely show the number that you want others to get. Go to the grid. Oh, haha, I don't get a match. Well, by the time it gets back around to you next turn, other people may have gotten that number and freed that up for you, so now you can go off and get the thing you want. So there are some different little tricks and strategies that you can play there. I like that you can win late with the 7s. This is a great twist to this game where a couple people might have 2 sets of trios, they're close to winning, you might have none, boom, you get the 7s and you win. I like that because, getting to the 7s means the game's kind of gone on a little bit. And because, it's typically the cards are kind of going to be in the middle of people's hands, which comes out later in the game. But I like if you're patient, you work towards it, that's something you can come back. It's a good thing because of that. Like, it makes it so if 2 people have 2 sets that, like, you're still in the game. You can still win this with the 7s. I like that aspect. The advanced variant is really good. You get a trio. You need a matching trio in order to win, but you only need 2 of those. I like that you can deduce from others' actions what they might be doing. Like, they might show a high card first, ask for a high card first, and then ask for a low card over here. And, they do that. You probably know, okay, they don't have the other higher card or something like that. Like, there is some light deduction that you can make as well in this game. Overall, it's a pleasant game, and most people I play this with have really enjoyed it. I've played this with both gamers. I've played this with people that don't play a lot of games. The people that don't play a lot of games tend to like it even a little bit more. The things that people might not like about this game has a heavier memory element that some might like. It's probably a little too heavy on the memory for my taste, because you're trying to remember a lot of things. What's in the grid? What's where in the grid? What is this person's lowest card? What's that person's highest card? Like, there's a decent amount to remember, and some people just might not like that memory element as much. And that does get compounded with more players. The more players, the more things you got to remember, and that's that. That's why on the higher side of the player counts here, like if you're playing with the 6 players, I always play that with the team version. Just because with 6 different players, the memory element actually is, it's just, not that it's too much that you can't do it, but like it just compounds the issue that I'm talking about. A couple of production things that I thought were a little to mention on the negative side of things is I never liked black bordered cards on the outside, because typically when those nick, they're easier to nick. And when something in a game like this where if you know what card the one that has the nicked corner is, it kind of ruins the game. Now, I will say these are high quality cards. I have not had these cards nick yet. But black bordered cards tend to nick more than others, so it's only, in my opinion, a matter of time. Will I have got my money's worth by the time it happens? Probably. It's not that inexpensive a game. The other thing is kind of a weird thing. When you're dealing out the cards, so the 7s have like a metal, slightly raised metallic feeling to them. And when you're dealing the cards out, if you're dealing it out and you have a finger on the top, a finger on the bottom, you can actually feel the metallic 7s when you're dealing them out. It's kind of a subtle thing. You don't have to be looking for it, but you will kind of feel a card feels a little different. You're like, oh, that one's in the grid. Right? You almost have to shuffle the cards and then do a little massage on the table and then just like splay them out without touching the bottoms of them. I thought it was a little odd. I did talk to some friends that have like an older printing of this that said that theirs is not raised. So I don't know if that's a new thing that's in one of these newer printings. Slight problem. It's just a little nitpick here, but I'm trying to be a fair reviewer and tell you the positives and negatives. Overall, the game is very fun. I like it a lot. It's one I can bring out a lot of situations. I think most people are going to really like this game. I like it a lot. I think it's going to be used for gamers, for non-gamers, good fillers. I enjoy it a lot. It does have some minor quibbles there for the memory side, but overall, I think most people are going to like this game. It definitely feels like a classic, a timeless classic, and that is Trio. This has been the Game Boy Geek, breaking down barriers, growing relationships with board games, helping you on the next one you'll love. Game Toppers upgrades every game you play, and their Christmas Spectacular sale is currently running, where you can get 15% off all accessories and premium game mats with storage solutions, $100 off leg kits with a purchase of a Holmes or Watson Game Topper, and $75 off all dining covers. The sale runs through December 22nd at GameToppersLLC.com.